All right, welcome everyone. In this water hammock review, we're going to be touching on the 8-foot models. So they're going to be 8 foot when they're inflated, roughly. You know, we'll go through all the measurements in this video. We have the Sunchill, the cheapest water hammock you can buy on Amazon. It was about $200. It's an Acwyenn, not really sure how to pronounce it. We'll get to more on that. And the just released Liquid Hammock 8-foot model. So in this first video, I'm gonna go through the features, inflation times, you know, what's all included with each of the water hammocks, and the weights. So this is what this first video will cover. And then the second video that I'll put out is going to be an in-water test. So how each design feature will differ on the experience you have when you're using it inside the water. So I hope this video helps you. There'll be a second video that will do, again, all of the in-water tests. I'm gonna break it up into 2 videos. So in case one you wanna watch over the other, you have that option. So stick around and let's get started. All right, so let's get right to it. We are going to start with the bags and the sizes. So everything you see here is in the bag. So the water hammock, the pump, the hose, everything you need to take it with you is inside the bag. So you can kind of get an idea of the sizes here. So there's extra room in this one, but you got to adjust these straps if you wanted to make the bag bigger. But they have straps to cinch down. Sunchill has a little extra room, so you can get the water hammock in and out of there easily. And then the Acwyenn, this bag is not made for this hammock. I'm assuming it's just a generic bag. Super extra room. I mean, you might be able to fit 2 of these in here. There's just slack everywhere, which is a good thing. You know, you can, it'll definitely be a lot easier to put it in this bag compared to a bag that's smaller. But you can see all the excess room in here. So it's just, like I said, a generic cloth bag, has 2 carry handles, and insanely large for this water hammock. But that's why it looks larger when, you know, you do the overall size here. The Sunchill is a drawstring. This bag has seen better days, but don't mind that. The pump fits in there. Water hammock fits in there, and the hose is in there as well. And so you have one opening and a drawstring to get it closed. And then you have this carry handle here. The Liquid Hammock bag has a full zipper. So this zipper goes all the way around, all the way to the bottom, and opens fully. Has a carry handle on the top, carry handle on the side, carry handle on this side, and the backpack straps on the back that will also tuck in into here if you do not need the backpack straps. That's a tongue twister. So all of these straps will tuck in here if you don't want to use it as a backpack. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the bags. Let's move on to the weights. All right, so we're gonna do the weights first. I got my scale set up here. It is zeroed out. Let's start with the Acwyenn. Okay, so we are free hanging there. We are at 24.5 pounds. So this is bag, pump, hose, and hammock. 24.5. Let's go to the Sunchill. Again, bag, hose, pump, and hammock. Just over 20 pounds. And the Liquid Hammock. Bag, hose, pump, hammock. Just over 30 pounds. So there you go for the weights. All right, so this is what all came with the Acwyenn. Came with the water hammock. This is looks like a 1-inch carry strap here with the buckle. 2 ropes, not sure how long they are, have not opened them. Hose for the pump, a manual pump, which is a shorty, just the compact version. Does have a gauge all the way up to 30 PSI, but you'll only be using 5 PSI to inflate this. And of course the bag that we already talked about, you can see there. So this is what all comes with the Acwyenn. All right, and here's what all comes with the Sunchill. You again got the hammock. You got what looks like maybe a 2-inch strap, 1.5 inches. It's got their name on it. It is a cinch strap. So you have to put this around it and then cinch it down. The buckle is easier to do, but nonetheless, just a carry strap. The bag that we already talked about, and then this is their pump. These handles come off, and so does the bottom plate. To just make it more portable, you can still put it in the bag with it fully assembled like you see here. They have some quick tips on the back. Gauge on the top. Should have a plastic thing around it. I broke mine. Goes up to 8 PSI. So you'll only be inflating most likely the Sunchill, but again, this is a small pump. It would take you forever if you try to inflate something bigger than the Sunchill with this pump. And the hose. So there you go. There are some promotional items that were included, but those could change from time to time. So I'm not going to include any of the promotional stuff on any of these water hammocks. All right, and here are all the things that come with the Liquid Hammocks 8-foot model. You got the bag, of course, that we already touched on. This comes with a electric rechargeable air pump. So you got your instructions on the back, fully electric. You just turn it on, preset the PSI, hit start, and it will automatically fill the hammock for you. It will come in this box that again has the instructions on the back. Will come with a charger and the water hammock and a 2-inch buckle strap. So this is the carry handle to carry everything around. And that's what comes with the Liquid Hammocks. Okay, and here's a look at the water hammocks outside of the bags, as well as a comparison on the pumps. So these look to be about the same height. This one is thinner, tiny bit taller. This one's fatter, a little bit shorter. Kind of see the difference there. So all of these hammocks, when they're folded up nice and compact, pretty much the same height. Close to the same width. This one's thinner for sure. Less material, so that's going to be thinner. And this is the most material, so this one's going to be the thickest. So you can kind of see there, but if you're talking about, putting it on the boat, putting it in the trunk of a car, very easy to do with these. Okay, let's get them inflated. All right, so we're gonna get started on inflating the Sunchill. This one should be the quickest, easiest to inflate manually. Just some quick tips. There's an inflate and deflate on port on these pumps. Make sure you're putting it on the inflate when you blow these up, or else you're gonna be sucking air out of the tube and it's not gonna work. Another tip is these are push button valves. Make sure you push it so that this pin right here is up. That's going to close the valve even though you're filling it up. When you take the hose off, if it's not closed, a bunch of air is going to rush out and you're going to have to pump it up again. When you push it in, that's going to let the air out. So make sure the pin is up when you insert the hose. And then I'm going to pump it up to 6 PSI. All of these are going to be the same PSI so that when we do the water test, they're all, playing with the same energy. So let's get started, and I'll do this one. I'll start a timer, and you can see how long it takes using the pump that's included. All right, and you can see there, we are at 6 PSI. So that is the inflation time. Take the hose out, and you're ready to go. Just put the cap back on, and you are fully inflated on the Sunchill. Let's go to the next one. All right, so now we're gonna inflate the Liquid Hammock 8-foot model with the included electric air pump. It does have instructions on the back, kind of what I just said in the Sunchill part, with the pin being up and down for inflation and deflation. It does come already installed with the right nozzle And there are 6 other nozzles to inflate pretty much anything that is inflatable. So each of these come out of here. So this is for like your normal plastic inflatable, stuff like that. And each of these nozzles can go onto here just by screwing on, and with the extra O-rings to inflate whatever you need. This will go up to 20 PSI, but we only need 5 that's recommended, anywhere between 5 and 7 on this one. We're gonna inflate it to 6, just so that we're all have the same air pressure in the water test. So you're gonna hold down the power button, you're gonna hit the up arrow to go to 6 PSI, and then you're just gonna hit start, and that's it. You can literally just let it will turn off when it's done inflating. So let's see how long that takes. All right, so we hit 6 PSI. You can see there it automatically turns off. You just take the hose out and you're ready to go. So now let's inflate the Acwyenn. All right, so here we are with the Acwyenn. We are going to inflate it with the pump. Make sure the hose is attached to, again, the inflate label here, this inflate port, because deflate will be sucking air out. You got the valve pin out, hose is in, and here we go. We're gonna start the timer and see how long it takes to inflate this one. All right, and we are at 5 PSI, if you can see that there. And this one is now ready to go. So now let's talk about the design and their features. Okay, now that we got them all on the deck and inflated, we're gonna go through the features of each of them and the measurements. Let's start with the measurements. Okay, so the interior hammock width on the Sunchill's looking like 6 foot 4 inches. We have 6 foot on the Liquid Hammocks. And the Acwyenn's right at 5 foot 10 inches. So I'll insert videos of the total width of each of them. You can see that now, and that'll be the width of it inflated. You can see the thickness of the rings all differ here. So thinnest, medium, and thickest. So let's just real quick. We're about 4 inches thick there, 8 inches thick on that one, and 6 inches thick on the Acwyenn. Okay, so now the width of the rings. Right there is about 8.5, 9 inches. Then the next widest one is going to be about, let's get to the edge, 12.5 to 13. You can see there. And then this thickness to the edge, 12.5, 13 inches thick on the ring there. Okay, so that gives you an idea of the measurements, and really what that's going to do, that's gonna matter when it comes into the water test. So the amount of air in each water hammock will dictate how well it can float weight and displace the water. So now that we got the measurements out of the way, let's get into the features. All right, so let's start with the cheapest water hammock first. With the Acwyenn, we have 2 carry handles. So just a felt backing and a strap on this side, and then there's one directly across the way, so 2 carry handles. Okay, then we have 4 D-rings. You can see the size there. I can barely fit 2 fingers in, but that's the size of that D-ring. Okay, so that's the accessories attached to it, and the biggest thing about this water hammock is that you see this here, it's stitched directly to the PVC. Okay, so that's what's holding this mesh in. So there's not going to be any, we'll just call it play or bounciness to this water hammock, because it's just going to pull this ring under the water, and this mesh is not going to go any further. So the pluses to that's going to hold you higher out of the water, but your knees may be higher when you're sitting in it. We'll get to that in the water test, but that's how this hammock is designed. There's no bungee cord, nothing to replace. So if this mesh ever gets a hole in it, you get a hole in this. You're gonna have to buy a whole new water hammock rather than just replace the mesh. So that's the features on the Acwyenn. Let's go to the next one. All right, so now let's talk about the features on the Liquid Hammock 8-foot model. You'll notice that it has 4 built-in cup holders with a hole in the bottom of this cup holder that drains the water out if water does get in there. It's also designed so that the cup holder sits up and off the water, so that, again, allows any water to drain down. If it does get in there, water inside the cup holder does not matter. The drinks will still stay in there, which you'll see in the water test. There are 2 comfort handles, and this logo also glows in the dark if you decide to use it at night. We have 2 3/16 stainless D-rings, a lot bigger than the other D-ring. I can almost fit 3 fingers in there, and just a bigger area to pull and hold the water hammock in place. And then another big difference is this anti-gravity mesh. So these are heel hoops that are integrated into the mesh that you just put your heels in, and then you can apply a little bit of pressure to keep your back up against the ring and not slide towards the middle when more people get in here. And it is designed with this cross pattern so that somebody can have their feet here, somebody can have their feet here, third person can have their feet here, fourth person can have their feet here. So 4 people can sit in this mesh without sliding towards the middle. And then another big difference between the Acwyenn and this is the bungee cord. So this bungee cord allows flex. So the mesh will be able to go down further in the water and keeping the ring floating. And it also distributes the weight evenly around the ring when people are in there. So that's the features on the Liquid Hammock 8-foot model. Let's go to the Sunchill. All right, now for the Sunchill features. I did not cover them in the beginning video, so sorry on that. It does include 2 strap-on cup holders that you see here. So these are on a bungee strap. They clip on through this clip right here, and they're neoprene holder. We'll see how those work out in the water test. This is the inflation valve, which is not really a feature. All of them have that. The Sunchill does have a relief valve. So this valve, if the ring becomes overinflated, it will release the pressure from this. Okay, so that's just a safety feature. If you leave it on the deck, it gets too hot, you're not going to blow out a seam. It's going to release pressure from that. We're back to the D-ring with 2 fingers, and there are, I think 3 D-rings. So 1 there, 1 there, and 1 here. So 3 D-rings, no carry handles on this model, and the mesh with the bungee. So again, the bungee will allow you to distribute weight evenly around the ring when weight is added to the mesh. So that is the features on the Sunchill. So before we get to the water test, I'm going to end this part of the this section of the video with actually deflating them all and putting them back in the bag, because that is always something that's not discussed, and we'll see how easy it is to deflate and put all of them in the bag that they came with. Alrighty, so let's get the Liquid Hammock deflated and packed in its bag. So these all have push button deflate valves. So you're gonna just push this button in, a bunch of air is gonna come out, all the pressurized air, and then you're gonna, on the express pump, you're gonna take the hose off of the inflate, so that's the arrow going out, you know, air is going out, and you're gonna put it onto the arrow going in, so it's gonna be sucking air in. Now, this is not a requirement on any of these hammocks, but this will, once you suck all of the air out, it will be able to be folded as small as possible. So let's get started with that, and I'll show you how to pack it back in the bag. All right, so now that we're to this point, you can see the cup holders shrinking down. The pump's gonna start making a different noise like it's struggling. And then you're gonna just turn the pump off, remove the hose, make sure this pin is now up because that's gonna keep the valve closed and keep all of the air from going out. So this is completely deflated, and then I'll show you how to fold it and put it in the bag. So the easiest way to fold these hammocks is just over onto itself once. So fold it in half once. Make sure the edges are lined up, fold it in half again. Okay, so now we just fold it in half twice. You're gonna take it and roll this in thirds now. Okay, so you look like you got a piece of pizza here. You're gonna find the ring, just fold that onto the mesh, tuck this little tail in, take your carry strap, go around. I got it backwards. You can put your knee here to help you buckle that down. You can cinch it down so that it's extra small. Take your bag, fit right in here. Okay, so there's actually straps on the inside of this if you wanted to secure the hammock to the bag so it won't move around. And then this full zipper allows you to zip that up. Again, you can cinch these down if you wanted to make the bag as small as possible. And there you go, you are ready to go. You can actually, if you wanted to, slide the pump in here, just like it was when we did all of the measurements. And now you're ready to go on to wherever your next adventure takes you. So let's get to deflating the other ones. All right, so for this one, if you wanted to get all of the air out, again, you're gonna push the button, let the pressurized air out, and then you would take your manual pump, put the hose on the deflate side, and then pump all of it out until there's no air left inside. I'm not gonna demonstrate that. I'm just gonna show you how to get it packed down and back in the bag. I'm actually gonna use the automatic pump to get all of the air out. All right, so now we got all the air removed from this one. And again, I'm gonna fold it the same way. So in half, make sure it's all lined up. In half again. Now into thirds. Got your pizza slice. Tuck in the tail. Take your carry strap. Attach that back on here. Got it backwards again. And just be a little bit more careful with this one because it is a smaller buckle. Don't want to break any of the plastic fittings. Take our bag. Pump's already in here. This bag's severely oversized, so you can shove it in any which way possible. It will definitely go in here, even if you were to not even suck all the air out. There you go. So now this one's ready to go. And you can see all that extra space in there. But the bag is just made to carry it from one area to the next. So now let's deflate the Sunchill. All right, so now we're gonna pack up the Sunchill. Again, if you wanted to fully remove the air, you would pump it out with the manual pump. I'm just gonna use the Liquid Hammock pump to get all of the air completely out. All right, so now we got all the air out of this one. Slide the pump out of the way. Again, fold it in half once. Fold it in half again. Make sure all of your edges are lined up. Doesn't have to be perfect. And fold it in thirds. There's our pizza slice. Tuck in the tail. Get our carry strap. This one you have to put around the ring. And then you can cinch it down tight. There you go. Take our bag. You only got one opening here, but it is big enough that I could do it with one person. So there you go. Take the hose off. Put the pump in here. Put our cup holders in. And the hose. And now you are ready to go to wherever life takes you next. And the drawstring will close that up. And that's the Sunchill. So that is how you get that one packed down and ready to go. All right, that's gonna do it for this water hammock review of these 3 8-foot water hammocks. If you watched this far, I thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this information helped you and your family decide which water hammock is best for you. As always, if you have any questions, comments, put them down below and I'll be sure to answer them. And if you'd like to see any other videos, just let us know and we'll try to put them out for you. Thanks for watching.